In the next 4 years, all 4 of my older children will be in college, and I will either be in college or out of college. Now that we're in a new season, I'm just trying to enjoy every moment. As always, the Gaines family is the center of attention, and they're at it again. Fans are both excited and sad about the big news that Joanna Gaines and her kids, Drake and Ella, made not long ago. What could this big news be? And just who is the Gaines family? Who are the stars behind this great news? Come talk with us about what Joanna Gaines just said, along with Drake and Ella Gaines. A sad truth. On October 22nd, Joanna and Chip Gaines made a very sad news about their children, especially Drake and Ella, on the Today Show. That news got the attention of all of their fans right away. This couple is getting used to the idea that their family will be smaller as their children get older. They are known for having a big family. Drake, who is 19 years old, is now in his second year at Baylor University. Ella, who just turned 18, is getting ready to graduate from high school next spring. Joanna and Chip Gaines talked to Hoda Kotb TV and Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show about how they're getting used to Drake living away from home and how they can't believe their 3 oldest children will be graduating or going to college in just 4 years. Joanna talked about how hard it was for her to accept that soon all of her older children would be in or out of college. She said she was trying to enjoy every moment. She said it had been hard when Drake moved out, and now that Ella's graduation is coming up, she finds it hard to believe her daughter is growing up so quickly. She also told Chip that as their kids grew up and started living on their own, the next few years would be hard on both of them deeply. Chip laughed and said that Joanna would be a mess when their kids leave home and start living on their own. They talked about how Crew is spoilt by having 2 sets of grandparents and 4 older brothers who love him very much. Chip said he was torn as his 50th birthday got closer, saying he still feels like Peter Pan and isn't quite ready to turn 50. He loves seeing their kids grow up and become their own unique people, but he also talked about the bad things, like how his knees hurt after he jumped off the truck. As fans react to this couple's honest confession, they become more interested in the family that has won so many hearts. Who are the Gaines? And what makes their family so loved and inspiring? The Gaines family. It's not the first time that Joanna, Chip, and their 5 kids have been in the news. They are often in the news for their amazing home improvement skills and completely different way of raising a child. But even though they are well known, not everyone knows their whole story or what makes them unique as a family. So, who are the Gaineses and what's so great about them? Chip Gaines is an American businessman and reality TV star who grew up in Colleyville with his sister Shannon. It wasn't easy for him to get to the top. They were full of useful information and stories for people who want to start their own business. His military dad taught him to be disciplined and strong, which also helped him stay on the right track. He went to the University of Texas at Austin to get a degree in business administration because he loved planning and building things. He learned a lot and got a lot of practical experience that will help him in his future business ventures. Chip started his first business after college and got involved in home improvements and real estate. He quickly stood out because of how well he paid attention to detail. On his first house flip, which his parents helped him buy, he made a huge $30,000 profit. It wasn't just about working hard and being smart about business. He and his wife, Joanna, made a business that would become famous together. Their family and community are at the center of everything they do, and they've built a strong company together. Chip is now a famous actor, producer, TV personality, and author, in addition to being a successful contractor. With Joanna by his side, he always moved forward in his work. Joanna Gaines is also an American author, TV personality, and home designer. In the United States, she was born in Wichita. When her dad, Jerry, was sent to Seoul for work in the U.S. Army, they met. He later worked for the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company in Texas, where he and his family had lived before. Joanna had a very hard childhood as well. She said that because she was the only Asian American student at her school, she was often made fun of. She got through the hard times, though. She was named Homecoming Queen when she was a junior in high school. By that time, her family had moved to Waco, Texas. She went to Baylor University to study marketing. That same year, she did a job on the TV show, New York City for 48 Hours. In 2001, the year Joanna graduated from Baylor, she met Chip Gaines at her dad's car business in Waco. As they climbed a magnolia tree on one of their first dates, Gaines gave her a flower, which is where their brand name came from. Gaines got married on May 31st, 2003 in Waco, Texas, where they both grew up. They've had 5 children since then: Drake, Ella, Duke, Emmy, and Crew. They've also built a successful home improvement business. Chip and Joanna have found a way to raise their kids while also juggling their busy work lives. They give their kids both rules and freedom. Chip once said that his own youth was less tense than his own, but that as a parent, he sometimes feels like a drill sergeant. Even though they are famous, they still want to raise their kids in a normal way. Joanna talked about how they teach their kids to be kind to themselves, others, and especially people who look like they are alone. Chip and Joanna are hugely successful with the Magnolia Empire, but they always put their family first by making sure they have a loving and stable home. In addition to putting their family first, this pair has taken the world of interior design and remodeling by storm with their skill and charm. How did they become so famous? The stars of Fixer Upper. Fixer Upper is a popular reality TV show in the United States that follows Chip and Joanna Gaines as they redesign and renovate homes in creative ways. The show was shot in Waco, Texas, and its pilot episode aired for the first time in May 2013. The full first season began in April 2014. Fans loved the Gaines' unique country chic style, which included shiplap and barn doors and became a big design trend over the course of 5 seasons. The show's popularity brought more people to Waco and helped the local business, as a lot of people come to see the Gaines' work. Because the show was so famous, it was brought back in 2021 as Fixer Upper Welcome Home on Magnolia Network. In 2022 and 2023, it will have spin-offs like Fixer Upper, The Castle. Fixer Upper is made by High Noon Entertainment and follows the Gaineses as they help clients pick one of 3 possible homes to fix up. Chip planned the improvements and Joanna designed them. The budget was usually less than $200,000, and at least $30,000 was set aside for upgrades. Also, soon after getting married, they chose to open Magnolia. They grew the brand, and even though they were having money problems, they stayed dedicated to their work. People.com shared an early look at the next episode of Fixer Upper. Chip Gaines, a comma, told us the story behind the name of their business, Magnolia. Chip thought of a sweet memory from their first date while they were planting a magnolia tree with their kids. He told her that on one of their first dates, he had climbed up a magnolia tree to pick a flower for her. One of Mama and I's first dates, he said. I pulled her off a magnolia bloom and I gave it to her. The couple's deep connection to the magnolia tree has turned it into a symbol for their brand ever since Joanna opened her first magnolia market shop. They even plant magnolia trees at every place they work on, even their own farmhouse, as a tradition. Chip loved this practice and said, every project we do, we love to plant a magnolia gem. After years of growth, the Magnolia brand has become a huge company with a store, a real estate business, several books including a new cookbook by Joanna, a queue at Target, a magazine, 2 bed and breakfasts, and a restaurant. The Gaines didn't just focus on remodeling homes, they also went into other profitable companies, making sure that their businesses would work well together. What else did this people do for a living? Silo's Baking Company is open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and has been in business for 1,000,000 years. Not even 10 years ago would anyone have thought that the 2 old cotton seed bins would become the center of a huge retail business. But that's exactly what took place. When the Brazos Valley Cotton Oil Mill shut down in 1958, these silos were left empty for many years and were used by teens to play in. Some students may feel bad that they didn't get to climb those rusty structures, but the Waco community has gained a lot from Magnolia Market's growth at the silos. Chip and Joanna Gaines came from nothing at first. The first store they went to was Spice Village, a Waco shopping center with more than 60 boutiques. But Joanna quickly saw that her brand needed more space as it grew. They bought the little shop on Bosque in 2003 and turned it into their first standalone store. It was also one of their first projects to fix up. They fixed up the small, rundown building and turned it into a lovely place to shop for home decor. Fixer Upper was a big hit, so a lot of people came to see it. Both Waco and Gainesville needed to do more to attract tourists. After only a year, they bought the old silos, which would become the symbol of their business. These bunkers needed a lot of work, just like their TV projects. And Joanna's unique touch. They turned the nearby buildings into a store, put up a stage in front of the silos, and even made a garden shop with magnolia seeds and other supplies. There were plans to turn another building into a bakery. The silos were ready for guests after they were landscaped and food trucks were brought in. In 2015, the shop and food truck park opened. In June 2016, the Silos Baking Company moved into the last empty building. That's when the silos really felt like they were finished. Joanna spent a lot of time making her baked goods better, and both locals and tourists loved them right away. Every day, the lines for baked goods started going around the corner. The Gaineses not only brought a Waco icon back to life, but they also helped change the whole city. Downtown Waco was busy, there were more and more restaurants, and there were even tour buses driving around. Fixer Upper stopped shooting in 2018, but the number of tourists hasn't stopped. The Gaineses are still going strong. They have a new Magnolia line at Target, and their building business is doing very well. Thousands of people visit the silos every day and enjoy the warm setting that Chip and Joanna made. They come for home decor, food trucks, and cupcakes. Magnolia Market at the silos is now and always a significant part of Waco's past. Even though they were famous, the couple got into a lot of trouble because of their success. They were sued for $1 million and got in a lot of trouble because they supported same-gender marriage. Did any of these problems have an effect on the couple? Getting through a world full of scandals, the Gaines' rise to fame has not been without controversy. They have ties to a religious leader who is against LGBTQ people and have been sued several times, which has put them under a lot of criticism. Reports said the Gaines went to a church where the leader had anti-LGBTQ views, which caused a big controversy. The pastor responded by denying the claims and stressing that the church's goal is to help everyone find their real self in God. Chip also had legal problems when former partners of Magnolia Realty said he bought them out right before Fixer Upper started, supposedly without telling them that the show would feature the Magnolia brand a lot. This case was finally settled without going to court after years of fighting. The couple also got in trouble with the EPA because they were accused of breaking safety rules about lead paint on the show. They decided to pay a big fine and promised to put money into local efforts to lower the risks of lead exposure, which made their public image even worse. They were also accused of racism after giving money to a campaign against critical race theory in Texas schools. This caused backlash and made people wonder what they really thought about social problems. Some viewers were upset that there were no same-sex couples on Fixer Upper, especially after Joanna filmed a talk with a pastor who was against LGBTQ rights. In an interview, she talked about how angry she was about these claims, saying that they were not at all true to who they are. An investigation also showed that Fixer Upper had added to Waco housing prices going up. Some longtime neighbors had to leave their homes because of this. As tourism grew, locals worried that they would lose their close-knit communities. This showed how complicated their success was. Chip was also in trouble on social media after saying something careless about money that many people took to be an insult to their hard times with money. It got even more complicated when it was said that Darren Farmer bought land in July 2016 with the intention of charging $10 for parking, even though the Gaines had a lease agreement with the owners of the alleyways that let shoppers park there. It's interesting that the Gaines family was in talks with Farmer in 2016 to buy the lot. Chip built a gate across the alley's opening, making it harder to get in. Farmer then sued the couple, but the case was dropped when the Gaines apparently made an offer to buy the house in 2017 and paid a lot of money for it. The Gaines were sued by Chip's old business partners John L. Lewis and Richard L. Clark in the same year, saying he lied to them and wanted more than $1 million back. Notably, Lewis, Clark, and Chip co-founded Magnolia Realty in 2007. This made things even harder for the couple as they tried to run their growing business while dealing with these problems. Even with all of these problems, Chip and Joanne have made sure that the bad things don't affect their family. In everything they do, how did the Gaines family get through these problems? Did these problems really get in the way of their work? Please tell us what you think in the comments. Don't forget to share, like, and follow for more. Also, click on the next video that comes up. It will be fun for you.